What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video on the channel. My name is Brian with Kansas Angling Experience. Sorry it's been a while. It's been exactly 1 month since the last time I posted a video, and it's not for lack of effort. If you guys have been around long enough or follow me on social media, you will know that I'm a full-time fishing guide. This time of year tends to be pretty busy. I stay pretty busy all year long, but definitely in late spring into the summer, I'm guiding every day, sometimes twice a day. I do not get a lot of time to make videos because guiding is my full-time job. YouTube is not my full-time job. I just make these videos for fun. So I do have a rare day off today. Clients rescheduled because everybody thought it was going to be storming. And now look at this. We've got bright bluebird skies, as you can see. Not a stitch of wind, and there are 1,002 boats out on the lake today. Definitely going to be a little bit tough to film exactly what I want to film today, but my main goal was to get out and kind of show you guys the walleye program that I've been on. Because if you guys do follow me on social media, you will see that the walleye bite has absolutely been on fire. Easily my favorite time of year to catch big walleyes in Kansas. We've been seeing an awesome year class of like 15-inch to 20-inch fish, a couple over 24 so far. So yeah, the fishery's healthy, things are good, life is busy. So I wanted to try and get out today and just kind of go from top to bottom, show you the program that I'm running. I made a couple videos on this technique before. Easily my favorite technique to catch fish. I'm not certain that we're gonna go join the boat circus over there, but we're just gonna go and I'm gonna kind of show you the rods, the reels, the line, the baits, the technique, all the things that go into bottom bouncing, which is definitely my favorite way to catch them. So yeah, I don't know. It's a very slick, calm day, super moist, super humid. The lake flies or midge flies are out really bad right now, so that sucks. But yeah, like I said, I'm just gonna kind of run you through the entire program. We're gonna talk a lot. So yeah, let's just get to it here. You guys will notice that I do have a new toy for the Alumacraft here. I did add a Suzuki 4-stroke kicker. If you guys have been around the channel long enough, you'll know that I used to have a Yamaha kicker, a matching one to my 115. That's the one that came with the boat, but it was a manual start and it did not have power tilt. I got really lucky on a super good deal on this new Suzuki 4-stroke kicker that is electric start and has power tilt. Definitely helps on the days where when you have a little bit more wind, need a little bit more propulsion that I can get from the bow mount without juicing the deep cycle batteries. So super happy to have that sweet little kicker on the back again. Anyway, that's enough talking. I'm really not sure exactly where we're gonna go to do this, considering, like I said, do not want any part of that circus back there. So let's just get to it. Hope you guys enjoy. All right, so like I said before, this is probably something that you guys might have seen on my channel once before in the past when I had a lot more time to make videos. This time of year, the water temperature is getting warm. These fish are all post-spawn. These fish want to move. They're on the chew. My all-time favorite way to catch walleyes this time of year is definitely bottom bouncing. As the water kind of starts to get warmer and the fish move around and scatter off a lot, then I'll start pulling crankbaits, do a whole spread, planer boards, the whole 9 yards. You guys have probably seen a couple videos. Trolling crankbaits. If you guys have not, I will link those videos down below. But bottom bouncing is a super good way to cover a lot of water. The bottom bouncing is probably my favorite way to work a piece of structure, especially in a small area. You know, with crankbaits and stuff, you're typically talking about like a big flat covering a ton of water. When these fish set up on offshore structure like a roadbed or a hump or any kind of high spot or something like that, especially in a small area, that's when I like running bottom bouncers because we don't have a lot of line back behind the boat. So if you guys are not familiar with the bottom bouncer rig, this is kind of the first little key part of the equation. This is your typical pencil weight bottom bouncer rig. This is a 1.5 ounce. Generally, the rule of thumb for bottom bouncing is 1 ounce per 10 feet. I like sticking right around 1.5 ounces because I can fish shallow, I can fish deep. Typically, I'm not fishing this rig deeper than like 25 feet, just depending on the time of year. But all that pretty much does is just keep your bait ticking right off the bottom there. It's rigged up to a snap swivel right here, which is where you affix the next part of the equation, your spinner. Now with bottom bouncing, you guys can just use a single hook and a night crawler, anything. It doesn't always have to be a spinner. It can just be a regular, you know, leader to a slow death hook or something like that. But I typically do like running blades this time of year. This style of spinner has far and away been my favorite here for a good long while. This is the Max Smile blade. It's just a plastic blade where typically on spinner rigs, you'll see like the steel cupped blades. The Smile blade, this is the number 2 size. I forget exactly how big that is, but that's about the size that I run. Nothing really too much bigger. Depending on water clarity right now for how much rain we've got the last couple days is actually pretty good. So I do like to kind of size down and be a little bit more sneaky. But from that blade comes a couple beads on the leader to the slow death hook. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but you can see on those slow death hooks, it almost looks broken. That's a number 2 slow death by Mustad. But when you rig a half of a night crawler on that, that causes the whole entire hook to spin real slow along with the blade. And these hooks are sticky sharp too. So From there, you've got a section of 14-pound fluorocarbon leader all the way up to a barrel swivel, which then affixes right to the bottom bouncer rig itself on the snap swivel. Clip that in right there, and you've got your bottom bouncer rig. Again, the rig itself, super simple, but it's all the key elements of speed and boat control, especially in the wind. A lot of times with customers on the boat, we're running 4 bottom bouncer rods, 2 off each side. So when you're trying to work a piece of structure, dialing in your speed is key, because you're not gonna wanna go too fast to lift that all the way up off the bottom, not want it too slow so that arm just falls down and starts dragging. So there's definitely a lot more to it than just the rig itself. Now, as far as rods, I actually run a couple different styles of rods for bottom bouncing, with different lines as well. So this right here is your typical trolling rod. This is an 8-foot Bass Pro Shops Prodigy Walleye series rod. This is a super parabolic rod. It's super soft and moderate action. And on this one, I'm actually running monofilament on my line counter reel. I'm not a big fan of monofilament. If you guys have watched the channel long enough, you'll definitely know that I use braid for pretty much everything, and I do for bottom bouncing. But on these particular rods, I do like to run mono, just because you get that little bit of extra stretch. When that fish comes up and grabs the hook, he's not immediately gonna feel your rod right away, so he can sit there with it and take it in a little bit better before you set the hook. So there is definitely something to be said about monofilament when it comes to trolling, especially crankbaits. But then on the other side of it, I do run 2 rods with braid. These are kind of more my hands-on bottom bouncing rods. That's just your like 6-4-1 Abu Garcia Silvermax bait cast reel with 10-pound braid. I like the Silvermax reel because it has the flip and switch right there. So when I'm running 2 bottom bouncer rods, if I'm letting line out, I don't have to use my other hand to re-engage the reel. This is just a 7-foot medium bass rod. This is, well, it's actually not a bass rod. This is the Jason Mitchell series bottom bouncing rod. 7-1 medium. It is a little bit stiffer than those 8-foot trolling rods. With the braid, when you're bottom bouncing, you can feel everything. You can feel if you're on a hard spot. You can feel if you picked anything up on the end of your rig. But that said, if the fish are more finicky, you know, they're gonna pick that hook up and feel the rod right away and have more of a tendency to spit it out. So these are ones that I like for more hands-on, when I can feel the bite and then drop back to the fish to let him have it so he doesn't feel the rod tip right away. Either one will work just fine, but like I said, just kind of play around and see and experiment. It's always fun to run both and just kind of figure out exactly what the fish are preferring on any given day, but a lot of times we get bit on just about everything. But going back to the spinners, I mean, you guys see and have probably seen spinner rigs before. You know, there's a lot of spinner rigs or crawler harnesses that have 2 small hooks and you rig up an entire crawler. All the spinner rigs that I use are pretty much just 1 single hook. This is one that's made by Northland. That one's kind of shot right there, but just a single straight shank hook with a half of a night crawler. That's still going to cause the hook to spin, which is good. But then on these Northland ones, you guys can see that's more of the steel cupped blade. Throws off obviously a lot more vibration and thump. These are actually UV ones as well. This is actually probably it was my bread and butter spinner rig until I started using the smile blades, because if you slow down too much with these, they will drop straight to bottom and start dragging up zebra mussels and all that stuff. So I mean, really in the end, it's all up to you guys. Just kind of play around and figure out what works best, but I do like the plastic ones a little bit more than these. So yeah, I don't know, from a gear perspective, that just about covers everything. So now I'm gonna kind of go over what you're looking for as far as structure on your Garmin map. Again, we're not covering a big giant flat going, you know, super slow with these rigs. We're covering small pieces of an area, more specifically main lake structure, and just picking it apart, because this rig does allow you to pick apart structure very quickly, especially on a smaller spot. So I wish that I could be over on the Juice where we're typically fishing, but in the interest of me making a video, I'm not going to join. I mean, there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 boats. 13 boats back behind me on a spot that's probably 50 feet wide by maybe 200 feet long. So I'm just gonna kind of mill around the area here, try and pick out little pieces of the map and show you guys what I'm looking for when I'm putting my bottom bouncers out. All right, so now looking at your Garmin map, assuming that you guys are using the same Garmin system, they all should be Navionics at this point, but Garmin does have great 1-foot contours. If we just kind of zoom in on the map here, you guys will see anytime you see these tight contour lines around a piece of structure like that, means that it drops off really quick. Anytime that you see more tapering lines, that means it's more of a tapered slow break versus a steep one. So if we look in on the map here, you guys can see pretty clear as day. Go over to the depth chart over here. We're showing 53, 54 feet of water. Big hump right here that comes up to, what does it top out at? Right around 16 feet, right up at the top here. So you can see it's a relatively big piece of structure, you know, I mean small in comparison to the entire lake itself, but this is a piece of structure where I would typically work right over the top. Your most aggressive fish are always going to be right at the top of a piece of structure, so that's why I like to blow right over the top with these baits and just see if I can get fish to react to it right away and just kind of see how aggressive they are. But then if I can't get anything to go on the top, I can work these rigs all the way up and down every little piece of that structure and just kind of S-curve in and out with my depths. That is definitely the one benefit to this technique, is always having your baits right in the strike zone. No matter how fast or slow that you're going, you can just drop those baits right down. And that's kind of something that we'll go over as we start fishing here. But as far as what to look for on your map, that is just a big giant hump right out in Narnia right there. And that's gonna definitely be what you're looking for as far as working bottom bouncers on offshore structure. All right, well, we're gonna start fishing here. Not promising anything, considering every small piece of structure in a 600-yard radius right now has 3,000 boats on every one of them. But the main purpose of this video is just to kind of show you guys what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and how you can go and do it depending on the specific body of water that you're fishing. Because there is a lot to it, especially with speed and everything. So again, that's kind of my goal in this whole deal, is to just show you things. So get into the bait cooler here. Night crawler selection is definitely key. You want the big juicy ones. Try and keep them on ice if you can so they stay nice and plump. This is a bad time of year for a guy that likes to keep his carpet clean, but like I said before, this is only a rig where you're using a half of a night crawler. You're not trying to thread the entire night crawler onto that hook there. You just thread it up through, try and keep it as straight as you can. And then what I always like to do is just put that crawler all the way up through. The knot right there kind of acts as like a little keeper. Break it off, and then you've got another one for that rig. I think we're gonna switch this one out here, that kind of chartreuse and red, for a more purple one. I've got a couple purples rigged up on the other rods, but seeing that we are by ourselves today, I can only run 2 or 3 rods, but I am gonna only run 2 just for ease of use here. But yeah, purple's been a super good color all the time for walleyes. And especially in the last 3 weeks that we've been absolutely hammering them. So I think that's the route we're gonna go on that guy. This is obviously a rig where it makes things super easy to change out, no retying or anything like that. But seeing that this rig does run very close to bottom, you always wanna check your fluorocarbon leader and just make sure there's no frays from zebra mussels or rocks or anything like that. Make sure your hook's still nice and sticky. And then go back to your night crawler. Boom, good to go. All right, so as far as structure goes, I guess on kind of where we're fishing, we're just out on a big flat right now, but on the map, there's these little finger points that come out. So I think that's kind of what we're gonna try and work over. We're all by ourselves over here, and the one thing about walleyes in shallow water, especially when the water looks like this, is that pressure like that over there where all those boats are will scatter the fish like you would not believe. So that's why if you can get away and do your own thing, it's gonna pay off. That was kind of like what happened with me in Green Bay when I caught my giant. Had to get away from the boats to do it, but we're just kind of sliding up on this first little hump here. I'm just gonna go ahead and drop these down. So again, the one thing with bottom bouncers is that you're not letting out like 100 and 150 feet of line. You're literally just putting that bait down until you get to bottom and then re-engaging the reel. You want that line right at about a 45-degree angle when you're moving here. We're gonna try and start out right around, I don't know, like 1 mile an hour, maybe 1.1. Try and top out around 1.2 or so. But all you really wanna see is that rod tip just slowly just touching bottom like that. Just that wire just kind of ticking right along bottom. So we got that first one out. We'll get the second one set here. And of course, as soon as I start fishing, it's starting to rain. But again, all the way down to bottom, re-engage the reel, put it in the rod holder. This is obviously a technique where you can hold on to the rods, but I don't even hold on to the rods because I don't trust myself when I get that first bite to let the fish have it. I think with bottom bouncers, honestly, it's better to just put those right in the rod holder and just call it good. So now I think the other key part of it is knowing exactly when you have a fish on. When a walleye takes that spinner, that rod is just gonna slowly fold over and stay folded over. It's pretty rare that you're gonna see a crazy wonky real head jerk like that. But the ticket is to just let that fish come up and grab it, slowly pick the rod up out of the rod holder, and just like kind of a catfish rig or something, all you really got to do is start reeling. There doesn't have to be like a crazy big hook set. Sometimes they'll do a slow sweeping hook set into them, just kind of depending on how the bite was. But yeah, you really got to be patient. There we go. Got one going right here. And just let him have it for a second. He's just kind of holding on to it. Feel a little bit of weight, and he does not feel very big. Fish on. See, I just kind of leaned into that hook set. Actually doesn't feel bad now. Oh yeah, it's a nice walleye. Nice fish. That's what we're here for. Just came over the top of a little point right here, and we got him. I don't know if you guys can see him down in that water. It is super clear. It's a nice keeper. Let's see if I can get him in the net. Whoa. Pretty sprightly. Got it. Nice. All by ourselves over here too, almost. Not a giant, but that'll be your typical 15 and a half inch keeper right there. We are not keeping any fish today, but he's right on that line. So it's a nice, good way to start it off. Did not take long at all. So yeah, we'll get that reset. Maybe make another pass over that little hump right there. See what happens. Where did this guy even come from? Now all of a sudden we've got two boats. I don't understand. That's what you want right there, boys and girls. Just blowing right over the spot. Good job, buddy. There's another one. Oop, yep, he's on there. Got him. Fish on. Feels like a white bass though. You are gonna have a lot of bycatches doing this here. Nope, it's a walleye, and he is pissed. He is pissed. It's a nice one too. Let's get him. All by ourselves. It's another nice one. Just your perfect eater size. Oh, we got one going on this rod too now. Let's see if he'll just hold on to it. Let's see if I can get this one first though. It is a nice one. Bigger than the last one for sure. Freaking crushed it. Oh, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Show you this rig here. That's 2 bites now for the pink guy. He gobbled it though. Here's another one. Perfect, I don't know, 16 and a half, 17 incher just coming over. Another piece of structure here, another big underwater point. Second keeper of the day. Nice. Get her back here. Yep, not the most graceful, but that'll do. Cool. That's good though. We've had 3 bites here now on the same little underwater point. I'll kind of show you guys what that looks like on the map here shortly. Here we go. There's another one. Just let him have it for a second. Got him. See how I just barely set the hook? It's a nice one too. It is definitely a nice one. Just watching the parade of boats from 300 yards away. There's nothing better than catching fish all by yourself. Oh yeah, another really nice one. Oh my God. What is this? Who says walleyes fight like wet socks? Not me. That's the biggest one yet too. Oh, so pretty. Super clear water for this time of year. That's probably 19, 20 inch right there. Ooh, got him. Nice. Pink again. Pink. It's a good one. Look, hook popped right out too. That's a dandy right there. These are the luckiest walleyes in the lake today. We've been taking a lot of fish out of the system. Not today though. That's what you want there though. Perfect 17, I don't know, 17 and a half, maybe 18 inch eater. Just a dandy. Going back today. I love you guys. You're my friends. Bye. Awesome. Yeah, like I said, I mean, we've been working the same piece of structure here, just a big underwater point, and the lake's come up probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 feet in the last couple days with all the rain, and these fish have not moved up shallower. They're still sitting right where they were before. And again, the best part is we're all by ourselves. There's one. There's another one. He's got it. Doesn't feel big. Yet. Now he feels bigger. Man, I love this bite. All-time favorite bite ever. Definitely want to take your time. Yep, it's another keeper. Number 4. We're one away from a limit, boys and girls, and we've been here for 40 minutes. Oh, and he's off. Ha. Well, we got to see him. That was definitely a nice one. First bite for the purple too. We've only been getting bit on the pink ones so far, but that was a nice one on the purple. Four good bites and a wiper. Cannot complain. There we go. Just give him a sec. Fish on. Fish on. Does not feel big unless he's just swimming right at the boat. It's a nice one. Right as the boats are rolling by. Get that there. Keep pressure on him. Little sauger, actually. It is a little baby sauger. Not quite as big as I thought. Purple blade right there. Just a little baby sauger guy. We'll take him. Here we go. Oh, dropped it. He's still on it. Got him. Keep pressure. Feels like a better one. We might make this the last one because that would be our limit if we were keeping them. Just a nice hour-long walleye limit in May. Yep, it's a nice one. It is a nice one. Nice sauger, actually. Nice sauger. There we go. Not a big one. Probably just barely make 15, but that's what we're here for. Another win for the purple. Just a little guy. Perfect eater size, though. Not really seeing the big ones just yet. Just a lot of those guys, so. I don't know. We'll see if we can catch 1 or 2 more maybe, but probably going to think about heading out. It's been a productive, successful little day. And all by ourselves. Don't have to join the circus. Idiots, Jesus Christ. Thanks, KDWP. Electro-shocking boat, really appreciate it. All right, guys, well, that is just gonna about do it for us today. Only had about an hour and a half to get out here and try and make the most of it, try and get this video out, and thankfully those fish were biting right off the bat. We're able to stay away from the boat traffic, thankfully, kind of find our super small little spot on the spot, just working little underwater points. I'll kind of show you guys on my Garmin map what exactly that looks like. But you guys are able to kind of see my contour lines right there where I'm working these underwater points. Any little dips or divots or curves like that, that's kind of where you guys want to be fishing. Pretty much, it just, you know, looks like little underwater fingers that come out on the contour lines right there. So just little points, underwater points, depth changes. You guys can see kind of work these little inside turns and bends right there, but more so where those underwater points kind of flatten out right at the top. That's kind of what you're looking for, especially in trying to get away from boat traffic, because I've been able to avoid the entire shit show for the entire time that I've been out here, which that's all I can pretty much ask for when I'm trying to make a video on a super small lake like this. So yeah, I hope you guys found this one educational. But with that said, I've got a very big trip coming up next week with my dad. We are going back up to Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin on a smallmouth trip. Leave this upcoming Sunday night and be down there all week. So really looking forward to that one. In the meantime though, I'm still booked like crazy with guide trips. I'm booked out till like mid-July, but if you guys want to get out this summer, definitely shoot me a call or shoot me an email. But drop a comment down below if you guys like this one. Leave any questions or comments down there, and I will hopefully see you soon on the next video. Definitely up in Wisconsin.